Ethan Sargent, Total Media Sports. Chase, take me through that touchdown. The emotions, everything that goes on in your head as you're sprinting down that sideline, getting it through the end zone. Just take me through that play.
Well, first, I knew we needed a spark, coming out of halftime. Knew we got the ball. And when Coach called the play, and I seen it was man, I'm like, just go win, go make a play. Parker threw it up, made a play, and then as I'm running down the sideline, I'm thinking, just score. Don't get tackled, score. So just thinking game change.
Andrew Bowman, WAB. Adonis, for you on the defensive side, obviously you guys had a number of stops in the red zone. Just how did you judge the team's defensive performance today?
I think it needs to be better because we didn't get the job done. We got some stops here and there, but I don't think we got enough stops to hold the game to a certain amount of points. There's a lot of explosive plays that I think we should have stopped, and unfortunately we didn't. So definitely could be better. Can't be something to be impressed about. The stops, we got stops, but at the end of the day, didn't amount to a win. So.
Hi guys, Lori Schmidt, Columbus Dispatch. You've played 3 Power 4 teams now, but this was number 1 in the nation. How much of a step up maybe did it feel like to you tonight? Chase, can we start with you?
Yeah, I can start. I think you prepare the same way. You go throughout practice, you go throughout the week, just prepping, playing hard, practicing hard, and you just go out and compete, right? So at the end of the day, they men, we men. I mean, they are the number 1 team in the country, but you don't shy away from competition. I'm a competitor. I know he's a competitor. I know the guys that I'm competing with in the locker room are competitors too. So we just put our best foot forward, try to come out victorious. It didn't happen. On to the next, and yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Chase said it all. You got to go about it the same way. You competing, going against whoever number 1 ranked or whatever rank, or if they unranked. Preparation the same. You go to practice every day, you get at it, and you watch your film. You do what you got to do to get better. So I wouldn't say it's a difference, and just because of who they are, but you got to prepare the same.
Grant Keeper, WAB. Adonis, what was the prep like for the secondary this week, having to face Jeremiah Smith and Carnell Tate?
I think it's the same every week. We practice very hard. Just stay true to our technique. That's all you can do at the end of the day. So just running around hard, flying around, communicating. That's just what we got to do every week. That's what we do every week.
Cam Robertson, Athens Messenger. You guys have obviously now started the season with 3 power conference opponents, and you've gone toe-to-toe with all 3. What have these games kind of just taught you guys about yourselves and about your team moving forward into the rest of the season?
I think our identity, right? So who we are. Like you said, we went toe-to-toe with every single team that we played. So it just, show what type of team we're going to have down the long run when we enter conference. And, obviously got 1 more game out of conference, then we in conference play. So it just showed, the grit that our team play with, the toughness that we play with, how aggressive we are and how hard we play. And I think it just, goes back to practice, just practicing the right way, practicing hard and preparing yourself, for these type games.
Yeah, I think, we talk about our number 1 box check, it's toughness. I think every week we go out and we play that tough, hard-nosed football, and I believe that's just who we are, especially as a defense, as an offense as well. And we just try to put that foot forward every week.
Adonis, I asked Coach Smith about this, about how well you guys, I thought, tackled in the open field tonight. What was the preparation like throughout the week? Again, Grant mentioned some of the playmakers that they have on the opposite side. How well do you guys feel like you tackled in the open field tonight? And, how can you continue to get better with that as the season goes on? You know how important tackling is.
Oh, yeah. I think there were some misses. So, in my head, it's not the best. So, you got to be better. We got every open tackle. We got to make it. We weren't 100% with it, so it wasn't that good for me. But, yeah, just going forward, just preparation. We go through our drills, whatever we're doing in practice. We going hard at it. We're very focused on it, and we just try to get that done every week.
I know you guys work so hard, and it just was disappointing. So I don't want to downplay any of that. But do you think there's going to come a time when you're going to be able to look back and think, wow, I played in front of 100,000 people at one of the historic college football venues in the country?
I start. I'm a competitor, so yeah, you'll look back and be like, okay, it was a good experience, but you're gonna always have it in the back of your mind, like, well, we didn't get the job done. So it's like, yeah, the experience was cool. Played against the number 1 team, played against 100 plus thousand. That's cool and all, but we didn't be victorious. So it's like, it was an okay experience. Like, it wasn't a good experience. It was decent. It was decent.
I mean, yeah, of course we would have liked to get the job done. We didn't. I personally, no matter if it's 105 or 10,000 or 30,000 people, I just enjoy it whether or not, no matter the crowd. But it was definitely exciting to play. But yeah, that's really it.
Jonathan off the post. Chase, for you, obviously Parker went down, early in the game and Nick came in. But the offense was still able to sustain drives. So what can you kind of say about the continuity of your unit?
Together, one person go down, next man up. So, Nick get a lot of reps. In practice, I go with Nick sometimes. So I don't think, it was a fall off between Nick and Parker. Obviously, two different type games. Nick play one way, Parker, do another thing. But I don't think it's a fall off in between, 1 and 2. I think Nick can still get the job done. And I think that about, anybody on the team, whether you're a 1, whether you're 2, prep yourself like, you're a 1, like you're going to be a starter. And that's how you be good.
Yeah, we can just get right into it. Any questions? Yes.
Andrew Bobby, WAB. Coach, obviously, maybe on the initial look, the offense, or the defense rather, didn't play so well. But can you just talk about the red zone defense specifically, how you guys held OSU to a couple field goals?
Yeah, I would say that's open to opinion. The comment that you made. I thought our defense played extremely well. I think they played hard. I think that they tackled really well. There's a lot of good things that they did, and the ability to make the stops that they made in the red zone and force field goals and force them into tough decisions. I thought they played great. I would have loved to have controlled the clock better on offense early in the game and kept them off the field for as well as I thought they were playing. Yeah.
Sorry, Ethan Sargent, Total Media Sports. Coach, talk me through that opening drive of the second half. You had that deep pass play that ends up connecting to Chase Hendricks. What was the call on that play? How did you see it develop? And then what can you say about quarterback and wide receiver on that?
Yeah, the RPO concept. They were in man coverage, and Chase was running a inside fade. So something that we rep a lot of. I think Parker and Chase have developed a really good relationship and connection. Then both of them making a lot of plays downfield and into coverage. I think Chase has done great early in this season of making plays when he does have tight coverage. And then I think what was great to see him was the determination after he caught it, that breaking the tackle and finishing in the end zone. It was awesome.
Brian, you know what an NFL defense looks like, at least from your time as a player.
Sure.
Did this look like an NFL defense with the scheme that Matt Patricia is running and the talent that OSU has on the field?
Well, I'd say there's definitely NFL concepts that he runs. I know a lot of what he is doing has carried over from what he was running with the Patriots. I think the personnel is good. There's a lot of really good players on that side of the ball. So you could definitely say it's comparable, sure.
Parker had a good night. OU's always been a team that rotates in 2 quarterbacks when they have 2 good ones. Was Parker injured, though, during that first half?
He did. Yeah, he did have a kind of a small injury that we wanted to make sure was taken care of properly and looked at properly before he gave an opportunity to re-enter the game.
Chuck from the Post. Coach, a week after the 3 turnover second half, the offense didn't turn the ball over at all.
Mm-hmm.
What can you just kind of say about their ability between Nick and Parker to control the ball, control the game, and keep it safe?
It's just something that's stressed all the time with them. And, I do believe that you get what you emphasize. So that's always been something that's been a strong point with us and our staff is the importance of taking care of the football and how that relates to winning games. And I think our guys embrace that and understand how important that is. When you win the turnover battle, typically it does correlate to wins.
Kent Robinson, Athens Minister. Coach, Ohio State did a pretty good job tonight taking away your guys' run game.
Mm-hmm.
And as a team who likes to establish the run, how did that kind of mess with your guys' rhythm offensively and affect how you're calling the game?
It just took us out of opportunities for more convertible third downs. We try to put ourselves into situations where we can be really efficient, which allows us to control the clock, keep our defense off the field. And we were in way too many third and longs, which isn't a place I don't think anyone really wants to be there. So they did a good job knocking us out of the runs on early downs.
Grant Keeper, WAEB. What was that conversation with Parker in the locker room, right before he came back out for the second half?
He was extremely motivated to play. he's a highly competitive kid, and he was excited to get back on the field.
What do you guys take from this game? Obviously, getting to face the number one team in a great road environment. Just what do you guys take from this going forward?
I think all these experiences are good experiences, and I think a lot of our guys are disappointed in the outcome of the game, but I think that they do see what our true potential is as a team, and I think that the thing that they understand now that we had the opportunity to tell them after the game is, we had the most challenging starting season than any team in the country, right? I think there's 2 teams in the country that played 3 Power 4 schools to start their season, and that was us and Notre Dame, right? So what our guys have been through in these first 3 games, and I think the way that they played in these first 3 games is, makes us extremely proud of them, how hard that they played, and how well we've executed at times against a lot of really good opponents, and week in and week out. I think it's great for our confidence moving forward, just them understanding how well they're playing against good teams, how close they are to wins. And, even this game, it's a 2-score game. I think, middle, late of the third, something like that. In the Rutgers game, obviously, is coming down to the last drive of the game. Our guys are disappointed in the losses, but I think that they see what their potential is.
When you talk about winning the turnover battle, which you guys did today, which is, I imagine, will be a big success and point of success as you guys look at what you talk about lessons. How do you feel like the turnovers really affected your guys' ability to be able to move the ball down the field as, you get the turnover, but then you guys kind of struggle to move the ball after
Right.
that? How does that kind of connection work between both sides of the ball?
Well, you're stealing possessions. Sometimes you're putting yourselves in better field position to flip it on your opponent. Obviously, anytime you do get a turnover, you would love for it to turn into points. And I don't think we did that today. I know at least one time we definitely didn't. I'm not sure about the other time, just off the top of my head. But that doesn't mean that you don't emphasize or correlate that how important those things are to get the ball back and then to protect the football.
Adonis had 9 tackles today and a couple of really big tone-setting hits.
Mm-hmm.
Just what can you say about him as a player when he meets the defense?
To the defense. He's one of the great leaders within the program. I think he's been on the Unity Council more than any other team in the program. So he's highly respected from the time he got here. I think he has a great energy about him, but he's a good football player. And I think him, DJ, both, we saw some really good tackles in space with both those guys. They're both physical. They play hard. They love their teammates. So they're fun guys to watch.
In your opinion, where did you guys lose the game tonight, and what facet?
That's an interesting question. I would say there's a lot of areas where we lost the game. I think struggling early downs on offense, I think, put us in some bad situations. I think that they had some big explosive plays in the second half that got the game away from us. But it's collective across the board, and I think the team understands that.
Ohio State obviously has some real playmakers, but I thought you guys tackled in space really well tonight. How big of an emphasis was that throughout the week of practice, and how well do you think you guys executed that in terms of tackling the open field?
That's one of the things that we emphasize with them all the time. So there's 4 things that we've made as things we want to emphasize towards how we're going to win. So our ability to tackle and our ability to break tackles. Turnovers, something that we'll say is Ohio doesn't beat Ohio. So playing smart football. And then trying to think of the last deal. Just drawing a blank right now.